Hello, welcome back to the chaos, everyone.
Welcome to the chaos. See?
The shade.
That's it.
Starting off early.
So what's up, guys? I hope you've been enjoying our videos. Well, they're barely being uploaded.
Yeah, I know. Sorry.
So go watch our video now. Even if you already heard it on Spotify.
It's okay. We need the views and we need the listens.
Comment, like, and subscribe. Yeah.
I love that. But how are you feeling today?
We had a long day today.
Yeah. Literally just got off of work and now we're here.
Yeah, I was already on this side of town, so it only made sense that I would come here and record.
Exactly. And then...
Because Martha lives far.
You live far.
Okay, I live far.
She lives in West Double Bellflower.
Yeah.
Why? I know.
I ask myself every time I walk to my car, and I got a parking ticket.
Damn.
Yeah. Let me tell you.
Parking tickets.
You people that go out and leave parking tickets, I get it. I parked in the red. But if you purposely are looking into my car and give me a ticket for not having a front license plate, that's foul, and there's a very special place in hell for you.
Boom.
Anyways, yeah.
But overall, you had like a good day.
Yeah. So, Martha and I are kind of working together now.
Yeah, but only on like Thursdays.
Yeah, only one day a week.
Yeah.
I'm kind of roaming right now.
Yeah. Like, I mean, but you find it like it's like pretty easy. It's like going.
Yeah.
Yeah. But imagine I was doing that and I had a million other things that I had to do on my own. And then she was like, should I get a marketing person? I was like, yes.
Martha wears a lot of hats in her job. And I think that's what happens to a lot of people. Honestly.
Yeah.
Like, because they can take on anything and your boss sees that you can take on anything.
Yeah.
They're like, oh, I don't need another person when they're drowning.
Yeah.
Even though you can do it, doesn't mean you should.
Exactly. And honestly, like, I'm actually thankful that she saw how overwhelming it was for me because I was like doing so much. And I would tell her, I'm like, look, leaving for a day and doing this actually takes away from my attention from everything else. Like, you want me to focus on patients, you want me to focus on doctors calling in and stuff like that. And I can't do that. And on top of that, I have to deal with a lot of people's finances and like their treatment plans, and it's a lot. So
and answering the phones too.
It's a lot.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, but eventually, you know, like right now she's just starting off, but eventually she's gonna have somebody answering the calls strictly, and then I'll be focused on like the bigger things. Cause I like the bigger, harder things. I don't like the easy stuff.
Or like the industry that you're in.
So it's a periodontist. So it's a periodontal office. I don't know if you guys know what a periodontist is, but essentially she specializes in gum disease and bone. So like, let's say if you're losing bone, she takes care of that for you. So anyone who needs gum grafting.
Yeah, it's crazy that when you get into a job, you're like, you don't even know what it is.
Yeah.
Like, I had a short career in HR.
Yeah.
And I never went to school and said, oh, I'm for sure going to be in HR. And then the industry that you get stuck in, for example, now I do marketing. Now I'm doing marketing for a periodontist. I never knew what a periodontist was.
Yeah.
I'm doing marketing for a recruiting firm, which recruits for all different types of industries, which is cool. But getting to like know all these industries is cool.
Yeah, and it's very different. Like, honestly, like, the first time that I worked for a periodontist was, like, years ago. It was for this doctor. His name was Dr. Gayton. And, honestly, he looked like Obama. He looks smack like Obama. So all the old ladies, because like with the periodontist, a lot of older patients come in because they're the ones that are struggling mainly with like, exactly, their teeth are falling out and stuff like that. So
take care of your teeth, people.
Now, it's very rare to hit a certain age and then you have all of your teeth. But honestly, it's better to keep your teeth rather than like getting implants and like.
Do you guys ever have those dreams where your teeth are falling out?
Yeah. And
all the time.
Do you know what it means?
No.
It's basically you're dreaming that dream because essentially you're scared of like what other people are thinking of you and how you present yourself to the world. Yeah.
Well, sounds about right.
Yeah, so when I started getting those dreams, I was like, oh my god, I have to do something with myself.
You're like, why do I give a fuck?
Yeah, literally. So I was like, I need to check myself because normally I don't care what other people think, but at a certain point in time, like that's when it started hitting me, and I was just like, okay, why do I care?
When you started in like dentistry, what do you call it, dentistry?
Yeah.
Did you feel like that was like, okay, this is what I'm meant to do?
No, but so the thing is, the weird thing about it is that I grew to love it in a sense. That's how, like, when I went to that one office with you, and then I was like, oh, she's a rookie, and then we were all like, oh, she's a rookie. They were like,
Rookie?
once you start.
Me?
No, but I'm saying like in
No,
dentistry.
I know.
So like once you start and you start to learn things, you're always like learning something new,
Yeah.
and everything's like pretty fascinating. Honestly, I was like, I helped her with the procedure yesterday, which was Wednesday. Today is Thursday. So
Tomorrow's Friday.
tomorrow's Friday and the next day Saturday. Okay, but honestly, like, I've never had to be in the back and like help. There's been times where like they're short staffed. Mind you, I have no experience as far as like a dental assistant.
This is how you get experience.
But honestly, that helped me like
No more in the front.
exactly.
Right? Understand
Basically,
more.
when a patient would ask me a question, oh, what does the procedure look like or whatever, and I'm like, oh, so she's gonna do this, she's gonna make an incision here, she's gonna open up her gums, she's gonna do this and that and yada yada, and they're like, oh, and so then like it's kind of like but I try not to go too deep into it because obviously I'm not a doctor,
Yeah.
and I don't want to like slip up and say something that I'm not supposed to be saying, you know, so I have to be extra careful. But yeah, I mean, I learned to love it. It's interesting, and I learned a lot.
Yeah. How many years of experience would you say you have?
Like 6 now.
And then when you got to LA, what were you doing?
So when I got to LA, this wasn't my plan to continue it.
That's what I was asking.
Yeah, but like honestly, when I would look, because you know how Indeed, it picks like what your experiences and stuff like that. And so those kept popping up for me, and I'm like, is this it?
A
Like,
sign?
it's kind of like, no, not even a sign. It's kind of like, that's all that they were hiring. Like nothing else. It's like all the work from homes, they were like taken. All the customer service stuff was taken. Like anything that I wanted to do was taken. And I wanted to like somehow get into like the media aspect of everything, but I couldn't because obviously I don't have the experience. How am I going to go from like dentistry to like media, basically? So yeah. But honestly, like I was like, you know what, let me just focus on this. And then creatively, my main goal since I got to LA, find a job that's going to help you pay the bills, but allows you to like explore creatively.
I feel like that's why a lot of people move to LA.
Yeah.
So they can be creatives, they can be actors, models,
Yeah.
artists,
Yeah,
X, Y, and Z.
exactly. And
The American dream.
the LA dream.
That was my dream. When I've always wanted to be a fashion designer. Like,
Well,
I
you
have
can still do that.
Yeah, I have little flashbacks of me like drawing clothes,
Yeah.
and I actually got accepted into FITM, like right out of high school,
Oh, that's neat.
and I didn't come because I was scared.
Why?
Because I didn't know anyone. I was gonna move to LA at 18 by myself.
Fuck it.
Well, I just always knew I was gonna end up here because that's what I want to do.
Yeah.
So when I first got here, I found a job on Craigslist at a wholesale retail store,
Ooh, I remember my retail days.
it was called Papillon.
Papillon?
Papillon.
What is that?
It's a wholesale store.
Oh,
So I was like, I'm gonna get my foot in the door in the fashion industry. This is it. But I was getting paid $15 an hour.
oof. Yeah.
Yeah, and you know me and my lifestyle.
It's fast and young and
And honestly, I think I would have went through with it, but randomly someone messaged me on LinkedIn asking me to apply to this HR role.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that's how you landed HR.
That's how I landed HR. And I had never had a corporate job before, but when I went in for the interview, it was like, It's called GT's Kombucha, GT's Living Foods. I know a lot of people are probably familiar with it.
That's when I met you. When
the
you
one
were
that
there.
the bottle was like Synergy. When I walked in, it was like a very beautiful like manufacturing facility.
Yeah.
And then right when I walked in, it was June 12th, 2019. Crystal was right there. And it was my birthday.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah.
that's so cute.
So my interview went well, and I like the culture, the people. I was like, wow, this is like meant to be. And I felt well. I was a talent acquisition coordinator, essentially just helping with all the onboarding. Every person that starts with the company, they go through me.
Okay.
All the background checks, their I-9s, their onboarding, making sure that they sign their policies, orientations, and GT's Living Foods has like 1,000 employees.
Oh wow.
So and then I was doing orientations twice a week, one for like corporate positions and then for the manufacturing company. So I really got to meet a bunch of different Latinos, and older people, younger people. And when I would walk into that facility, I felt like this could be my mom or this could be my dad.
Oh, I love that.
You know?
Yeah.
Because in Washington, we grew up they did agriculture, like the cherry, la manzana, which also I worked those too when I was young.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's so neat.
My first iPhone, I bought it with my money that I made in the cherry.
Oh.
And then one year, descuate la manzana, which is like you take the bad apples out of the tree. So I would carry my ladder. Super
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That was really hands-on.
Yeah.
I like that though.
So that's what my family does in Washington. They came here to do agriculture. That's why a lot of people move where I'm from Mexico to there. Because
that's a common thing there.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay. I love that.
So I really, really enjoyed that job until I didn't.
Oh, why? What made you change?
So a year passed, a year and a half maybe, and then just drama. I don't know if you guys know, but corporate world is so much drama. I think you've always worked in smaller facilities. But there's probably still drama.
There is a lot of drama. It's toxicity, especially if it comes from the doctor, or let's say a few dental assistants that are very rude, and it's kind of they, how do I put this? Sometimes the doctors, they would put the blame on whoever's working the front, even
instead of
the
taking
office
responsibility themselves.
Exactly. When they would mess up, let's say on a diagnosis or something like that, they would just flip it and be like, "Oh, it was your fault."
That's not a good leader.
It's not.
A leader always takes ownership. What could I have done so that my hygienist
or dental assistant, anyone working in that office.
What could I have done to prevent that? They should never put the blame on their...
Exactly. And honestly, the office that I got fired from, I had left that office because of that toxic energy. Literally, I'm great at what I do and I know what I'm doing, and I always strive to do the best that I can or whatever, or more. And then, so literally when this man, when he tried hiring me, I was kind of hesitant because he was too pushy and too ready to hire me, and I'm why is he so ready to hire me? It's kind of I need you on the spot type of thing.
Because he was kind of losing, turnover, probably because of the way he is. Turnover was high.
Yeah, it's my calendar. Yeah. So then, literally, I got hired, and I was kind of excited because I really liked the aesthetics of the office. I loved my view in the office, and I just loved it, basically. And
employers, those things matter.
Yeah, the view, those little things. But then, slowly but surely, I started getting the pressure because I was selling cases left and right. When I say cases, treatment plans, basically, because you have to basically convince the patient that they really need it, even though they do need it, but they still sometimes need a bit more convincing.
Because they probably don't think it's that important.
Exactly.
Until your teeth are falling out.
Exactly. Even when their teeth are falling out, they still think that it's they still don't know how to manage all of those emotions, because finance is a big part of why they can't move forward.
Teeth are expensive.
Yeah, very expensive. So try to keep your teeth. But so then we went from making $150,000 a month to $250 $400,000 a month, and then he was pushing for 350. And then when we made 350 that 1 month, he was expecting
more
the next month, and I'm like, I can't keep going up, like this is really bad. Like the literally the office manager there, she would always mess up like the schedule. She would overbook patients. I know most of you guys have been in like those offices where it's like completely, it's like 10 people in the waiting area and stuff.
in the dentist.
Yeah, and it's because they're just trying to cram people in there. So essentially, like, I noticed that, and I was getting really annoyed because it's like, this is not how you schedule, this is not how you plan things, this is not how you treat patients. It's just like a lot of like toxicity. And then on top of that, like the attitudes. Yeah, and then there was like several assistants in that office. They were so lazy. So when the waiting room was packed, I would have to run to the back and be like, hey, you grab this, grab that, x-rays, get, like, literally taking charge and like yelling at everyone. No, it was bad because it's like, why?
You talk this loud before.
But no, it was very frustrating for me. It was bad. No, because like when I'm upset, like that's a whole different level.
Yeah.
Like I'm very like calm and everything, but once I'm upset, like you'll know when I'm upset. So they were scared of me at a certain point. They were just like terrified of me because like as soon as they saw me walking around with my little flats, they were like, oh shit, here she comes. And I wasn't the office manager. And then I was getting annoyed. Why the hell is the office manager not doing anything? And then basically, long story short, I left because the pressure was too much. And it's like, you guys are not even paying me what you guys should be paying me. And yeah.
That's a good point right there. Also, if you're one of those people that does a lot and you're not being compensated, this is your time to have that talk and ask for more money, especially women. I think less women, I'm guilty of it. Like, you get scared. But just jot down, like, this is what I've done, and this is how this has improved X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
And ask for your money.
Yeah.
Because, like we said in the last episode, your job don't give a fuck.
Yeah. Honestly, they do not care. Like, they don't care. They do not care about you. Because, like, when I left and I worked somewhere else, and then I came back because they had a position for me. They were like, hey, this is what you'll be doing. And it was just insurance verifications, and basically I would just be out of the way. I wouldn't even associate with patients. I wouldn't have to deal with what they were dealing with.
Yeah.
But then they fired the hygiene coordinator. They fired a treatment plan coordinator. So the turnover started again. And then
they were making you do those things.
And they were making me do those things. And then not only that, they had me handle 3 specialists and a general dentist. So an oral surgeon and 2 periodontists that were working there. And the current periodontist that I'm working with, she was actually working in that office. So then I'm glad that I found her through Indeed. I didn't know that it was her. So it was kind of like, oh.
It's crazy how the universe just aligns.
Yeah.
Like, you're always where you should be.
Exactly.
Like bad things happen so better things can happen. Just always remember that when you're feeling down about not getting something or losing something.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's really hard to find good workers.
Yeah.
Like, I talked to a few office managers today, and they were looking for hygienists.
Yeah, we're looking for hygienists, and we're looking for a freaking dental assistant. That
everybody's looking for good workers, and it's hard to find because everybody's lazy now. Like you said, work ethic is hard to find.
But honestly, I didn't deal with this back in Maryland. Back home in Maryland, like the work ethic was completely different. Like, there were dental assistants that were ready to work, and they knew when to take the patient. I didn't have to go and haggle them.
But when were you working in Maryland? Pre-COVID?
Pre-COVID, yeah.
That's what I'm saying. Do you think it was where you were at, or do you think it's the times?
Honestly, I don't know if it's the times or, like, where I was. I really don't know. Because after COVID, once COVID hit, I was already here.
Yeah.
So I have no clue.
Everything changed.
Honestly, yeah.
We found out that a lot of jobs can be done remotely.
Yeah.
Most jobs, actually.
Yeah.
So if you're an employer and you don't have the option to work from home, you whack.
Yeah. Totally. Like, honestly, that's why I'm kind of thankful that there are moments that I can work from home, and they're usually like on a Friday. as long as like no patients come in,
Yeah.
then I'm okay. But yeah, I love that option because then I don't have to like, I can literally just roll out of bread, roll out of bed, and just like brush my teeth and just start working.
After GTs,
Uh-huh.
I went to work for a really cute bougie vet clinic called Modern Animal.
Oh yeah.
That was fully remote. And it was a great job, great people. There wasn't any drama there.
Oh, it's probably just
That
the,
I guess I didn't know.
yeah, maybe you didn't know, but like I feel like there's always like a tad bit. For me right now, it's just with patients that come in.
Beefing with the patients?
No, we don't beef with them. It's just like they bring in the drama, you know?
I know.
And it's kind of like, oh God, you know? Yeah, but we don't really feed into it, but we talk about it later on, but like we don't feed into it.
It just
which is good.
It's crazy when you are supposed to be looking at like your supervisor or like the head of HR.
Yeah.
And they're petty.
And they suck.
Crazy. Like the VP of HR at GT's, he did some wild things that I was like, this our boss?
Oh, speaking of that, the chiropractor that I worked for a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Like the office manager, like she was freaking toxic as hell. Like there was this one time, and I quote, when I asked her, what is it that I'm doing here? Because she hired me to be an assistant manager, right? Okay? And so she literally said, she's like, you're just not bitchy enough. And I was like,
that's crazy because I feel like you could be.
I was like,
why do you need to be bitchy?
That's what I'm saying. You don't need to be bitchy to get your point across. You're in a professional setting. You're not supposed to be bitchy. Mm-hmm. Like, she was bitchy and I would never feed into it. It's kind of like, you need to calm down.
Yeah.
You need to look at it this perspective, this way, and da-da-da, this is how you get it done. And mind you, I've never been in, like, never had to deal with, like, medical, like, because dental and medical are, like, completely different. So I never had to deal with medical, and there were things that I caught on pretty quickly. And I was just like, why is this being done this way? Why is that being done that way? Like, and I was questioning a lot of things. And it's kind of like, I felt like she felt threatened by me at a certain point, because the doctor kept coming to me, asking me questions, asking me for advice, asking me, oh, how can we get more money in through the door and stuff like that. Because these are things that doctors are thinking about because they want to retire soon, you know? So, yeah, like I came up with like different programs that he can sign up for and get more patients in through the door, like ClassPass, for example. And then Care Credit, she turned it down, but then he was like, and I told him, I was like, you have a higher chance of people moving forward with treatment if you have a financing option. He was like, then let's do it. And I'm like, okay, cool.
That's another thing, like, a lot of these people don't have emotional intelligence.
They don't.
Like, they don't even try to understand, like, their patients or customers or anything. Like, I think that anybody that's going to be a leader at any company should be taking, like, an emotional intelligence test.
Yeah, no, she needs to lay off that was her problem.
And
No, seriously. Once I found out, I was like,
this makes so much sense.
Makes a lot of sense, and you got problems, and I don't want to deal with it anymore. It was kind of, and like, honestly, the staff there, they were like, please don't leave. The doctor didn't want me to leave either. And I was just like, and I'm like, how am I going to tell him that, like, his manager is, like, coked up all the time, and I caught her upstairs vaping.
Yeah, dude, you just need to communicate.
Yeah.
Yeah, communication is key to everything.
I know.
And about toxic environments, like,
just get out of it.
Either talk about it or get out of it.
Even when you talk about it and they're still, like just going over their head, leave.
That also happens.
Leave.
They're never,
There's just some people that are just so stuck in their ways, and they're never going to see your point of view, and they're never going to try to understand you. And it is what it is, and you just got to keep moving. It's that simple. Yeah. It's hard because no one likes to be without, a job, income, and it's
Yeah.
understandable. The hard times, you
That's
know.
why it's hard to follow our dreams sometimes. We gotta pay.
Honestly,
we have to pay our life.
if I didn't have to worry about bills,
Yeah.
you know,
What would you do? What would you do?
girl, this whole place would be filled with a bunch of shit that I want to do.
Like what?
Cause like
Well, you're an artist.
artwork, I'd probably have like fabrics all over the place. I'd probably like care less about how my home looks or whatever. But it's kind of like work is so controlling that I need to get control of something at home. So it's kind of like
Yeah.
basically that just reflects in my home, like where I'm more controlling because I have more control over it.
And that's why work-life balance is also important.
And I was just saying that I need to find work-life balance.
Because when you're so focused on work, it feels like you're giving it your all, and you don't have time to give what you want your all.
Exactly.
If I didn't have to worry about money, what would I do? I love people. Like, my favorite thing is like getting to interact with people and learning about people.
Yeah.
And
What would you do with that though? Like,
I want to do a documentary someday.
I think I got a good idea for you, Hannah.
Yeah, like involving like the border.
That's literally what I was thinking. Yeah.
Because also like when I was at GTs and I would always talk to like everybody, they tell me their stories. And I'd be like, dude, people have to hear these stories.
Yeah.
You know?
Honestly, there's a patient that came in, right? Her story is pretty sad. She made me cry.
Yeah.
And I hugged her, and like basically she's been through hell and back with different dentists, like, and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And we're supposed to do her interview. Basically, just asking her questions about her life, her upbringing, and everything, and what got her. So we'll talk about it later.
Oh, okay.
But I do love that. There was this one point in time where Noemi and I were pretty drunk, and we were like at our old apartment, and we were just like sitting there talking, and then we're just like, we're gonna die without knowing our parents' stories of like how their life was back home and their transition to the US. Mm-hmm. And it's kind of like, we need to get this on camera.
Yeah, I think I've asked my mom.
Yeah.
But my dad, I think I try to ask him, he's just very closed off.
Yeah, I think my dad would be more open to talking about it, and not so my mom. But yeah, honestly, leave that toxic work environment. It's not for you.
Follow your dreams.
Yeah.
What would you do if you didn't have to worry about money?
Yeah. Throw that ass in a circle.
Bye, guys. See you next time.
Bye.